Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to Therapeutic Edge. It is very nice to have you here today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I've got something on the table that's new to my collection. It's not necessarily new. It's been out for a little while, but it's the first time I've had one, so I thought I'd share it with you. This is the Reate T6000, not to be confused with the T1000 or the T800 or I don't know. It's the T6000, and it is a hell of a pocket knife. You got to have big pockets to carry this thing. It's not that it's big, it's that it's monstrously thick. I kind of like it. It's silly. It's kind of a testament to what Reate can do when they want to, and I'm okay with that. It is fundamentally just sort of a straightforward pocket knife, but it's got a unique locking system, which we will get to in a minute. It is a massively thick slice of M390. It's all titanium, except for the back spacer, which is zirconium, which is a really nice touch. Got a lanyard spot right there if you wanted it. On this, you'd need a pretty hefty lanyard. Let's talk about that locking system. So if you hand this knife to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they're going to, you can hear it move a little, but it won't open. That's because you have to slide this bar up. Watch these pins here. They move out of the way, and then it pops open beautifully. Now, the blade is gorgeous. It's got a fuller in it. It's got a speed hole. I don't know. It does have a lovely place to land your thumb, and a forward choil that is almost big enough. I can get my finger in there if you're going to work up close on something. If you're my size, I don't recommend it. Now, these pins can slide back in. As you see, I've locked them. And then it is one really locked open knife. Sometimes knife companies do stuff just to see if they can do it, and I'm okay with that. In this case, I'm okay with it. You know, it's more of an engineering feat than it is just a regular old pocket knife, and that's cool. I will say that the dimensions on this thing make it a really comfortable handful. I can talk, that's fine. The thumb studs, which are in fact blade stops, and they are down into the titanium here, so they are doing a job. Between those and these locking pins and the standard frame lock down here, this is a really locked up knife. Now, if you want a really detailed review of this, why don't you go over to Metal Complex. He's got one about a year ago. I just wanted to share it with you because I think it's cool. When you release those locking pins, the action on this monster is really nice. I have figured out that I bump these all the time, so I am constantly having to unlock them. It sort of interferes with the knife as a fidget toy. I know. It's not a fidget toy, it's a working tool. Come on, it's a fidget toy. Locked up, when closed, you can see those pins down there, and then you move them out of the way. Yep. I think it's a cool lock mechanism. I think it makes the rest of the knife look cool. As you can see, it is just milled to pieces. Otherwise, it would probably weigh a pound. Let's get some size comparisons out of the way before we do the fundamental specs. Here it is against a 940 from Benchmade. This one's a little bit different. This has got some aftermarket titanium scales on it, but as you can see, interestingly enough, this is a monster knife, but it's not much longer than a 940. So if you like the length of the 940, you're going to like the T6000. Here it is against a full-size Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, with a nod to Metal Complex. Again, these knives are very similar in size, and in fact, even in handle shape. You get a little more cutting on the Ritter Hogue because they don't have that really large choil. But here's where, I mean, this is two of these side by side. It's actually more than that, side by side. I like stuff like this. If you want just a pocket knife, there are a million really good options out there. I like when companies like Reate, who do make expensive tools, this one is, what was this? Yeah, almost $500 if you were to buy it new. They're still available. I'll put a link in the description where you can find one of your own if you want to. Let's break out the trusty ruler and get some other specs out of the way. All right, so from tip to tail, we are coming in at just about 8 inches. Yep, just about 8 inches. Blade length is a little over 3 inches to the end of this choil right here. All the way to the back, we're at about 3 1/4. It's not bad. Grip area, from behind that flipper tab, we're coming in at 3 3/4 all the way out to the end, about 3 1/2. My finger hangs off just a little bit. That's okay. Yeah, see, I locked it while I was playing with it again. Unlock, close. Close length, we are coming in at a little over 4 3/4 inches. They did a good job here. Let's open that up again. Unlock it. Open it up. And if we look inside, you can see that the milling is actually more than one. So on this side, we've got these little holes, right? On the inside, it's just a trip. There is so much thought in this knife. I think it's cool. Let's get this out of the way. Now, at its base level, once it's unlocked, it is a very nice pocket knife. The action is very good. Smooth, even with this monster blade. Locked in place, as I said, it's not going anywhere. What do you guys think? Is it silly? Is it an engineering sort of scientific experiment? What's the point? If you like T8 screws, this has got a lot of them. There are 3 across the back, 1 holding in what I assume is the internals for the locking mechanism. I have not and probably am not going to take this apart unless I absolutely must. I did want to point out that even the lock bar insert is a T8, which is a really nice feature. I can hear Metal Complex out there saying, yay! It's got a beautiful swedge across the top. It's perfect in all regards, by the way. The little bit of jumping back here on the flipper is perfect. There's no smile at the base of the plunge. There's no smile on the blade. It is an excellent cutting tool considering how thick it is. Let's talk about that for a minute. Break out the magic calipers here. At its thickest point, this blade is almost 6 millimeters, or look at that, almost 1/4 inch. I mean, by way of example, we used this earlier, you know, so it is twice the blade. That's crazy, man. It is running on multi-row ceramic bearings. Here's the thing about Reate knives. They are too expensive. However, Reate's one of the few companies where I can sort of say you get what you pay for. If you spend the money on a Reate, you're going to have a knife that's going to last and last and last, because they take the time to invest in the small details. And when they do that, you end up with a knife that lasts. It holds up. You can get a lot of knives. This is the Kershaw Iridium. It is a well-sorted cutting tool, but my experience with Kershaw, even the fancier ones that I have, is that over time, stuff like the pivot will back out, or the screws in the pocket clip will come loose, or lots of little things that show up over time when you don't spend a lot of money don't happen to Reate knives. And, well, if that makes it worth it or not is going to be up to you. Let's weigh this thing. I'm curious. Oh, excuse me. While I make a whole bunch of unnecessary noise. Oh, the good old scale. Okay, there we go. You guys can still see that. That's good. 0. Yeah, 8.9 ounces. I mean, by way of example, again, the Hogue comes in at 4.2. So it is twice the knife in every possible regard. Now, I have carried this thing around. I carried it last night when we went out to dinner. It does sit in the pocket like you're carrying almost 9 ounces of knife. There is no way around that, but it sits well. Now, if you're wearing light pants, don't carry this. But if you're wearing jeans, like I was, it works just fine. I don't know. I dig this thing. I'm not sure how I feel about this really yet. I haven't had it that long. I will say that at one point last night, I tried to pull it out of my pocket to open up a package and forgot this was a thing, so I pulled it out of my pocket and just couldn't. That was a little annoying, but once you remember, it seems to work just fine. Anyway, this is the Reate T6000, an engineering experiment from Reate turned into a pocket knife. I do love the shape of this blade, by the way. It is just lovely. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I know I'm enjoying owning it. If you have any questions about the Reate T6000 here, feel free to ask down in the comments below. But beyond that, let me know what you think. What do you guys think of the T6000? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.